Hey everyone, Rubber Mold Man here with my first video of 2022. I know it's been a while, but I can explain. Last year was a very trying time for myself and my family. We had a lot of personal tragedy. I had children in the hospital for surgeries. My wife was in an auto accident and she's still recovering from it. And on one single day, I lost both my mom and dad in two different incidents, which just devastated me. And it ended up putting me in the hospital, and I almost lost my life. And it took months for me to really recover. So we're looking at this year as kind of a fresh start of sorts, not just for our personal life, but also for our business in some ways, such as these YouTube videos. For example, I get a lot of emails from folks that have seen my YouTube videos, but a lot of those videos are now several years old, and so they ask, is that information in them still relevant? Now, of course, most of it is, but I'm learning that folks like fresh videos. So I'm going to be doing a series of videos that some of them are going to be kind of going over some of that information again, but I'll try to be a little more precise, a little more up to date with the info. And I'm also going to be answering the questions that I get a lot. And that's what this video is about. Question I get all the time: hey, I'm just getting started in the statue business. I want to do it as a side business or as my main business. What should I sell? What kind of statues should I make? Here's the deal. I can't give you a specific answer on that because there is no specific answer. In all honesty, anything will sell if you have the right customer, but obviously you want to center in on the items that are popular. Now, my family's been in this business since 1970. That's when my parents opened our first shop. I grew up doing this. I made the statuary, sold it, learned how to make molds. I've done nothing but this for my entire life. Over those decades, we have learned as a family that there are trends as far as what's popular, what's not, and it kind of comes and goes. Right now, the last few years, the one major shift I see in this industry is that customers are not really interested in giant statues anymore. Years ago, that was the number one thing, but giant fountains, the big deer statues, large figurines, they still sell. There's a niche market for it, don't get me wrong, but they are not the big sellers that they used to be. These days, everybody seems to want medium and smallish size figurines. And if you're just starting out in the statuary business, that's great news because these are way easier to make and much more cost effective. So let's go over some of the trends right now as far as what's popular, what's not. As far as the hot item for the current seasons, and when I say hot item, it's not like fashion where you maybe get one season. You usually get a few years of something being popular. Right now, it's anything to do with Eastern religion or philosophy, such as Buddha statues, Zen, meditation, and we've been trying to get new figurines in to show that for our store. If you go to our website, rubbermoldman.com, you'll see a lot of animals and yoga poses and that. Those are super popular right now, probably the top items. In contrast, you have the Western themed religions such as Christianity, Catholicism, and that, which have always been popular as far as angel statues, cherubs, St. Francis statues, and the like. Those are always good sellers. In fact, over the years, they've been some of the best sellers. They aren't quite as popular now as they have been in the past. I think that's the waning interest in Christianity, unfortunately, but they're still very popular. So those are good options. Let's look at all-time good sellers, ones that have never really gone up and down. They've just always been solid sellers. Garden animals that people like to stick under the bushes and, in their garden beds and that. Statues such as frogs, turtles, snails. You can say alligators, anything of the sort. They don't have to be realistic. They can be kind of fanciful, like this turtle here. They all sell. They're all great sellers. Bunnies, great sellers. Birds of any sort, also good sellers. Owls probably are the top bird right now, but all birds really sell. Doesn't seem to matter. Let's talk about mythological creatures, fantasy type things. A few years ago, pixies and fairies were the hot item. Not anymore. They still sell, but boy, it is not the popular item, I'll tell you that. In its place, gnomes are back in a big way. Now, gnomes have always been a part of garden statuary business, but a few years ago they were hot and then they kind of were not for a while. They are back. And it doesn't matter if they're the more classic gnome, like the little guy down there, or what I'm seeing now is a big interest in like weird gnomes, like this zombie gnome here. I've got rude gnomes that are holding up signs that say, go away and stuff like that. People love them. Anything to do with gnomes, really good. And also mermaids, very hot right now. Another all-time good seller, lion statues. Everybody likes lions for some reason. You know, they put them on the side of their driveways, the side of their doorway, their porch, whatever. Doesn't matter if they're in a mansion or they live in a trailer. I've literally sold them to everybody. Lions are always a good choice. And then one last thing I'll talk about is just design elements and such, like planters, finials, things of that sort. They're always good sellers. However, again, like I said at the beginning of this video, the large giant ones, not so much anymore. We used to sell giant planters and urns and that. They just are not popular now. People want stuff that's smaller. I think it's because we're in the internet culture now. People buy online. They want stuff that can be shipped, easy to move. And believe it or not, folks, concrete statuary is now very popular online. I know this as a fact because I started an online store to sell statuary just to test the waters. Did this a couple years ago. It got so busy, I had to shut it down here temporarily because I could not keep up with the orders. It was crazy. So it's a great time to get in on that. And here's the thing. The pandemic helped this industry. People stayed home more, so they put more time and money into their homes and yards. The inflation right now, the bad economy, in our years in this business, that's good for our business because people aren't going to travel as much. They're going to stay at home. They put a little bit of money into their home, making it nice, decorating that. So while things are bad out there, it's actually good for this kind of business. It always has been in the 50 plus years our family's been in it. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me. I'll keep my email down below on this video, but I hope I answered some of your questions. Like I said, I can't get very specific because there's just so many statues out there you can do, but I give you an idea of kind of what's popular now. And you know, if you're just getting started, maybe not worry about the great big stuff. If you open up a big shop and you want to get into it, fine. There's always a market for those things. But right now, you want to stick with medium and small type statues. All right, I'll have a new video coming up soon. I'm actually going to really stay on top of things now. New year, new me. So thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.